Feel your breathing here and the length of your spine. And as you're lying here, just sense, where are your hip joints? Can you sense them from the front of you and from the back of you? Please roll to your side now and up onto your hands and knees. And just for a moment, take both feet under and then both feet down. Now, if as you're taking both toes under, you're taking your lower back towards the ceiling, try doing the opposite, which is drop your back as you take your toes under. And just work out which is easier for you. So just play around with the idea. Was your first choice easier? Usually is. Or were you imposing something with your first choice? So then if you can select which is easier, continue to do it. What do you do as your toes go under? It's fine. Rest for a moment. Are you an extender? That would be right, standing on. I think you're on the right thing. How long is your spine? How much of it is involved in your breath? Please get up onto your hands and knees again. Separate your knees a little bit. Keeping the top of your foot on the floor, your right foot. No, that's the underneath. No, yeah, in extension, yeah. Okay, very gently now, lift your right heel and take it, I'm sorry, wrong, sorry. Lift your right knee and take it out to the right. So you leave your right foot on the floor and you take your right knee, you lift it and take it to the side. and then you bring it back into the middle again. So you just lift your right knee, not your foot, just your knee. And you take your right knee to the side, and then you bring it back towards the middle again. Now, as you continue to do this, feel where the movement is in your right hip joint. So really sense the length of your femur, the length of your thigh, and where does that movement start? Gently. And then after you've done that a couple of times, moving your right knee to the right, take some weight on it. And then move it back to the middle and take some weight on it. So you're moving your right knee. You keep your right foot on the floor and you move your right knee to the right, taking some weight on it, and then move it in towards the middle and take some weight. Now, feel where that movement is. Sense what you do in your pelvis. But mostly sense your right hip joint. Find your right hip joint with this movement. Okay, next time your knee is inwards towards the middle, tuck your right toes under, dorsiflex as if for running. And now take your knee to the right now, keeping those right toes on the floor. I mean, they'll swivel a little bit. And then bring it back to the middle again. So you're swiveling a little bit around your right toes, keeping your toes in one spot, but finding that right hip joint and finding the length of your femur. Breathing quietly and lie on your back and take a full rest. Feel the way your right leg lies on the floor now. The relationship between the back of your right knee and the floor, the back of your left knee and the floor, and the way the back of your pelvis lies on the floor. And the length of your spine. And sense your breathing. Please roll to your side and come up onto your hands and knees. Cross your right foot over your left ankle. And start flexing and extending your feet. And feel, is one hip joint clearer than the other? Can you feel the movement going through your spine more clearly, easily? It's a small movement. Change your feet around and continue. And in this position, is the same hip joint clearer or the other one? In this position, can you feel the movement going through your spine? Do both feet again, gently. Just rest for a moment in sitting. Up onto your hands and knees again, please. Have your knees comfortably apart. Now just cross one foot over the other and back again, and then cross the other one over. Now, can you sense a difference inside you, in your organisation, when you cross one foot over and when you cross the other? So the foot that you chose, is it more comfortable than the second foot over? And can you feel a difference in your spine and in your pelvis with these different crossing over of your feet? Okay, have your legs, your lower legs parallel now? And please now, with your right knee, lift it and just take it to the side and in the middle. And do a few of those to the side and in the middle. And then take it forwards and back. Forwards meaning towards your hands and back in the direction of your feet. So you keep your foot on the floor, but you're sliding a little bit forwards and back. Now, this time, so stop for a moment, and this time with the top of your foot on the floor, keep it in the same position. And how can you organize yourself to take your knee forwards and back? So if you keep your foot in the same position, how are you going to organize yourself to take your knee forwards and back? So you do have to roll on your foot a little bit, but yeah. So by taking your knee back, your ankle actually goes into dorsiflexion, and then you bring your knee forwards and your top of your foot flattens on the floor. Just find that relationship between the movement of your ankle, the movement of your knee, the movement of your hip, your pelvis, and your spine. Beautiful, beautiful. Rest for a moment in sitting. Up onto your hands and knees again. So this time, you've moved that right knee forward, side to side and forwards and back. Try making a small circle now with your right knee. How smooth can this circle be? How easy can it be? Breathing. Which part of the circle is easy? Which part is more difficult to find? And then go in the other direction. It's hard. And stop that for a moment. And now with your right knee, with the top of your foot on the floor, take it right and left. Find that hip joint and feel that you can take your right knee right and left. And now flex your foot, dorsiflex your foot, and continue to take your right knee right and left. And feel which position of your foot or your ankle is easier. And go forwards and back with your foot, your right foot dorsiflexed. And make a circle now with your right knee, with your foot starting with it dorsiflexed, your right foot dorsiflexed. And in the other direction. And rest for a moment in sitting. And please, up on your hands and knees. And this time, with your left knee, take it left and towards the middle, keeping the top of your foot on the floor. And just feel how that is. Is it easier than the right was? What are you doing in your hip joint? What are you doing in your pelvis? Feel your breathing. And then try moving forwards and back with that left knee, with your foot on the floor. Try not to move your foot too much. The actual position of it, of course, you're moving in your ankle to take your knee forwards and back, but you're not sliding the top of your knee across the floor. So you have to rearrange your left foot. And then circle your left knee. And feel the connection with your left ankle, your left knee, your left hip and your pelvis. And the movement through your spine. And then change direction of that circle. And then just dorsiflex your foot, tuck your toes under, and just move your knee left and right again, left knee, just gently. And forwards and back a little bit. And circle it a little bit. And is this easier with your foot dorsiflexed or with your foot plantarflexed, I mean extended? Or does it make no difference? Changing the direction of the circle with your left knee, feeling the movement into your hip joint through your spine. And lie on your back and have a rest. How long is your spine? How much of it is on the floor now? And find your hip joints. Please roll to your side and up onto your hands and knees. And keeping the top of your right foot on the floor, start sliding it around to the right. Not your knee, your foot. Keep your knee where it is and slide your foot around to the right. So your knee is in position and you're sliding your right foot and your right lower leg around to the right. Feel what you do in your pelvis, in your ribs, in your spine. So you're sliding your right foot around to the right. And then next time you take your right foot to the right, turn your eyes to look at it. Turn your head and your eyes to look at your right foot as it goes round to the right. And as you continue to do this, feel what's happening in your ribs, your side bending, you're opening one side of your ribs and closing the other. Really sense that. Okay, so next time you look at your right foot, turn your head to look around your right arm or around your shoulder. Turn to look, to look at your foot still, but really feel that you're turning your head. Be very clear that you're turning your head. So your left ear goes towards the floor as your right ear goes towards the ceiling. You're turning. So next time you take your right foot out, side bend with your head, which means that you keep your nose orientated to the floor. You do not turn, you side bend. So your right ear goes towards your right shoulder and your nose remains orientated towards the floor. And so you really need to side bend through your spine. Try not to rotate at all to get that glimpse of your foot. Just feel that you're doing a pure side bend. Your nose is orientated towards the floor. Your ears remain on the same plane. Gently. Now, some of you are turning. There are some left ears towards the floor. Gently. So you're keeping your ears on the same plane. Your right ear goes towards the right shoulder. Gently. And lie on the floor and have a rest. Roll to your side, please, and up onto your hands and knees. Have your knees comfortably apart. Start taking now your right knee out to the side and bend. So keep your ears on the same plane and your nose orientated towards the floor, and take your head around in the direction to look at your right foot as it comes around. Right, so we're doing it in the side bending, not rotation. So you're going side bending, you may not be able to see, but as you just continue with the side bending, not moving your ears towards the floor, but just the side bending, your nose stays towards the floor. Just feel what happens in your shoulder blade, in your clavicles, in your upper ribs. Just feel the organization through your upper ribs, your lower ribs, as you find that side bending. Side bending there. And now do the rotation, which is taking your left ear towards the floor as you look around, gently. And feel that there's a different organization in your upper ribs, in your clavicle, and in your shoulder blade. And now just turn your eyes and your head to look at that right foot and do a combination of the rotation and the side bending. Be very clear that you can organize your upper ribs, your clavicles, your shoulder blade, and you've got that combination. Gently. And lie on your back and have a rest. And just spend this moment to sense how you are on the floor, how you're feeling. Your right side and your left side. And slowly now, roll to your side and come to your feet and feel how that is as you stand. Sense the weight through your right side and your left side. And go for a walk and feel your hip joints. How upright are you? How tall? How wide is your chest? But mostly what's happening through those fabulous hip joints. How light are your legs? How heavy are your legs? That'll do it. Well done. Big day. See you tomorrow.
As you potter past your cup, remember to take it to the kitchen and wash it. And also yesterday there was some money found on the floor. If you're missing some, please come and see me.